Hello, my name is Leon. At Roxy's, we get a lot of questions about how to best use the BK7M. One that we hear often is, with all the possible feature selections on the BK, how do I remember the many orchestration selections for playing a particular song? And also, how do I remember what features to invoke on the BK and when to invoke them as I play the song? Of course, the BK, like many modern arrangers, supports the feature of saving all my orchestration selections for a particular song. Thus, I can conveniently recall them later. So, the answer to the first part of the question is, I don't need to remember. The BK remembers for me. All I need to do is recall my previously saved orchestration for whatever song I wish to play. Unlike some other models of external arrangers, where you have to save to memory locations by number, on the BK, I can save using the name of the song. Using as an example the USB memory stick that Roxy supplies with their BK DVD video called Getting Started, I press the Performance List button, select the particular performance list that I want, and then scroll down through a list of song orchestrations that were previously saved. Roland calls these saved orchestrations performance memories. When I activate one of these performance memories, the BK instantly configures itself to play the corresponding song, relieving me of having to remember the appropriate accompaniment style, style variation, treble tone, tempo, and a variety of other selections. It also relieves me of the drudgery of having to make these orchestration selections every time I wish to play the song. But what about the second part of the question? How do I remember exactly what features to invoke on the BK and when to invoke them as I play the song? That is the main subject of this video. One solution is to mark up my sheet music for the song. Suppose, for example, I decide that I wish the BK to play a fill-in at a particular point in the song. No problem. I simply mark it at the appropriate point in my sheet music. But most sheet music, in the interest of saving space on the page, is written with a lot of repeats on the same section. And of course, when you play with the BK, you want to add variety to the accompaniment, which means playing each repeat using a different style variation, or perhaps a different treble voice, or whatever. Often, there isn't sufficient room in sheet music to specify all these things for each and every repeat. A better way is for me to create my own sheet music where I do provide sufficient room for specifying such things. A lot of music notation software packages exist for writing and printing sheet music, but the major players are Finale and Sibelius. I happen to like Finale, and I use an economical version called Finale Print Music. It has all the features I need to create sheet music for any popular song that I might wish to play using my V-Accordion and BK7M. To show you the way I do this, I offer as a download sheet music that I created in Finale to play the popular song Dream Song, which you may have already seen me play on Roxy's YouTube channel as a demo. The download link for the sheet music is in the text description section of this video on YouTube. In addition, I provide a download for the performance memories that represent my orchestration of the piece. Using the sheet music and performance memories that I provide, you can play the piece exactly as I do, complete with intro, style variation changes, BK treble tone changes, and ending. Note that my orchestration uses the BK's treble tones, which requires that you configure your V-Accordion such that it sends the proper MIDI bellows action messages to the BK. I list the 3 MIDI parameters that you need to configure in the text description section of this video. A full demonstration of this MIDI configuration is shown step by step in the Roxy's BK DVD video called Getting Started. Actually, if you have Roxy's BK DVD video called Getting Started, you don't even need to download the performance memories for the Dream Song. You already have them on the memory stick that Roxy supplied. Just press the Performance List button, scroll down and select Roxy's Demo Performance List. And there you are. You will see that my orchestration consists of two performance memories, Dream Song 1 and Dream Song 2. Simply pick the Dream Song 1 and you're ready to play. If you don't have Roxy's USB memory stick, download the performance list file from the text description section of this video on YouTube. Then, using your computer, copy that file to the My Performances folder of a USB memory stick that was previously formatted on your BK. Finally, plug that memory stick into your BK and select the performance memory called Dream Song 1 as I just demonstrated. At the top of my sheet music, you see the reminder to start playing the song using the performance memory called Dream Song 1. Another reminder is the notation that I use to indicate when to activate the Performance Next feature. Whenever I see the notation PN specified in the sheet music, I need to press whatever pedal I have previously configured on either my Roland FC7 or my Boss FS5U pedal unit to invoke the Performance Next feature. I'll say more about the Performance Next feature in a minute. My sheet music consists of only the treble staff. There is no need for the bass staff for the reason that when I play using the BK, I do not play traditional accordion accompaniment patterns. I press buttons on the bass side of my V-Accordion only when a chord change is required. Hence, all I really need to make my BK play the proper accompaniment is the chord sequence. Below the staff, I indicate two lines that will contain instructions to follow while playing, one for chord changes and one for pedal pushes. In the very first measure, you see a C in the chord line. It represents the C major chord. It is specified at the first beat, the downbeat of the first measure. Since the Dream Song 1 performance memory configures the BK with the Sync Start feature already turned on, pressing the C chord button starts the BK's auto accompaniment using the correct key for playing the melody in the treble staff. You see at the beginning of the piece 4 empty measures. That is the period of time during which the BK plays its introduction sequence for the song. As when playing with a live band, I need to wait for the appropriate time before I start playing. During this introductory time, I synchronize myself mentally with the BK's accompaniment by counting the tempo, thus ensuring that I do start playing my treble part at the appropriate time, which is on the first beat of the 5th measure. The next instruction in the chord line appears at measure 7. It specifies playing a B7th chord at the first beat of that measure. Note how in measure 13 I specify an F chord on the first beat and an F minor chord on the 3rd beat. Notice also in measures 32 and 33 the use of minor 7th chords. But wait a minute, you say. The Stradella bass system does not have a button for the minor 7th. True, but it is possible to play, and it really isn't very difficult. I play them by pressing a 2-button combination. I explain this in Roxy's BK DVD video called Getting Started. But don't worry if you don't know how to do it. For now, you can just press a minor chord instead. However, in general, if you wish to play with auto accompaniment, you should develop the skill of playing minor 7th chords for the reason that they appear often in sheet music of popular songs. Playing them properly will, in general, make the BK's auto accompaniment sound more professional. As you saw earlier, my orchestration of Dream Song consists of 2 performance memories, which I switch between as I play using the BK's Performance Next feature by pressing a pedal. In order for this to work, you must configure one of the pedals on your pedal unit appropriately. Watch as I configure the number 1 pedal on my FC7 to do this. I press the menu button. I scroll down and activate Global. I scroll down and activate Pedal Controller FC7. To configure pedal number 1, I first press the rotary control, and then I scroll through the various options until I get to Performance Next. Finally, I push the rotary control to select. To save, thus making my configuration permanent, I press the Exit button to navigate back to the Global menu. I scroll down and activate the Save Global item. And then I specify Yes and push the rotary control. Now watch as I press the number 1 pedal repetitively while looking at the performance list. See, the BK switches between Dream Song 1 and Dream Song 2. It also works when the BK is displaying its normal main screen. You will notice when I switch between Dream Song 1 and Dream Song 2 that multiple changes occur simultaneously on the BK. The style variation changes from 3 to 4 for a more embellished accompaniment, and upper part 2 gets activated, thus introducing a second treble voice. Without the Performance Next feature, I could never accomplish these simultaneous changes interactively while I'm playing. When using the BK, the key to producing music that the general public will admire is to introduce variety to the auto accompaniment, thus making the BK sound like a real live band. Performance Next is my most powerful feature to accomplish this, and I can invoke it without having to take my hands off my V-Accordion as I play. The instruction to invoke the Performance Next feature appears on the pedal line of my sheet music at the first beat of measure 36. On my system, I press the number 1 pedal of my FC7 pedal unit at that time. The last issue I wish to point out is my notation for invoking the ending, which I want the BK to start playing at the very beginning of measure 68. But notice how I place the instruction under the bar line between measures 67 and 68. I do this to remind myself that if I want the ending to start on the first beat of measure 68, I actually need to press the pedal a fraction of a beat before. Pressing the ending pedal at the last beat or at the last half beat of measure 67 better guarantees that the BK will start playing the ending as I wish at the first beat of measure 68. This is not unique to the BK. It's the way most external arrangers work. Now it's time to play.